Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. The biggest news coming out of the pro wrestling world is that Mariah May is in WWE. I mean, just a week ago, I think she got released from AEW. If you don't know who Mariah May is, please look up her full story, her full story arc with Toni Storm in AEW. It is the absolute best thing that AEW produced all of last year. Timeless Toni Storm, Mariah May, they had absolute classics. It led to Mariah May actually winning the AEW Women's World Championship. Toni Storm has it back now. Her contract was up last week, and now she is officially in WWE on the June 3rd edition of WWE NXT. Mariah May made her debut, and I believe, from what I've heard, that the talent in the ring when she made her debut was not told about this until right before the segment. So that's also very interesting. So you could see how sort of natural their reactions might have been to Mariah May joining WWE NXT. This is very similar to what happened to Ricky Starks, now Ricky Saints. You have this surprise entrance, you have this surprise debut into WWE NXT, hoping that they'll spend very little time there and then move on to the main roster. I mean, that's what Mariah May will do. She's a main roster talent just based on the absolutely incredible story she built with Timeless Toni Storm in AEW. And Mariah has played her career quite massively. She started off as a fan, then she went to a wrestler, then she got a WWE tryout very early, didn't get signed, then she traveled around the world, went to Japan, worked her ass off, right? Got signed by got signed by AEW, went to the top of the card, had an amazing story, fleshed it out in the end, beautiful ending, became a world champion, AEW Women's World Champion, and then she signed with WWE, and definitely 100% will be in a position to secure another big time contract in a few years, because you don't know what her contract is now. It is noted that she will be altering her name, and so maybe that wasn't part of her contract, maybe that was part of her contract. You can see that with Ricky Starks to Ricky Saints. You didn't see that with Ethan Page or with Jordan Grace. So I don't really know what the contract details are, which say you will change your name, you won't change your name. Some people do, some people don't. I mean, we saw Samoa Joe in there. Kevin Owens changed his name from Kevin Steen, right? All sorts of different stuff have happened over the course of the history of WWE NXT, but we know now that Mariah May is in WWE, is in NXT. The question is, how long will she be in NXT, and will she move up to the main roster? Will we see her in a month's time at the Evolution pay-per-view? Who will she feud with first? She clearly says that she wants to be the next NXT Women's Champion. And it's probably going to happen because she's a superstar, and I was just incredibly impressed by the whole story she put together with Timeless Toni Storm. I mean, I think Toni Storm is one of the best wrestlers on the planet, female or not, doesn't actually matter. And the way they put together that feud and the cinematic feud and the blood and the intensity and the promos and everything about it was perfect. So if there's something like that Mariah May can sink her teeth into in WWE, it's going to really be cool for her and the person she's with in NXT. And I think, that's incredible. But the expectation is that she's not going to spend very long in NXT, going to get sort of her WWE chops in, learn how things are done, and then move up to the main roster at some point. And then speaking of, main roster, we are going to have some main roster moves here soon. Monday Night Raw, we saw Stephanie Vacour finally make that official debut, right? We've seen them on Raw. We know what Roxanne Perez has been on Raw a few times, but now those two people are officially members of Monday Night Raw. I think they're two great additions, two of the best wrestlers that we have in Roxanne Perez and Stephanie Vacour. Really good. It's expected that Jordan Grace will also be making her main roster debut very soon. Now, if you're unfamiliar with sort of the NXT WWE trajectory, you're probably not. If you're watching this, you probably understand it very good, but it's like minor league, major league baseball. But I don't really like to call it minor leagues because these guys are doing amazing things week in, week out, weekly television shows, some house shows. So it's not really minor leagues, but yes, more people watch WWE Raw and WWE SmackDown than they do NXT, but a lot of people watch NXT, and for a time being, NXT was getting getting more viewership than AEW. So it's not really minor leagues. It's just at a larger scale. The arenas are bigger, the eyes are bigger, the scrutiny is bigger, and the pressure is a lot more than it is at WWE NXT. So that's sort of the difference. That's why you want to get your chops in NXT, figure out exactly who you are, your character, flush out everything, be able to work all these different kinds of matches. So when you're on the big stage and the pressure is mounted and you make one little mistake and you're out on Raw or SmackDown, you have that figured out and you go in with full confidence because your mindset has a lot to do with how you perform in the ring. And so it's very, very important to have that squared away, to have that flushed out, and to be very secure in who you are as a wrestler and as a person before you go to Raw or SmackDown. And again, Jordynne Grace is expected to be on Raw or SmackDown. She will be at the Evolution pay-per-view, I would imagine. And then another big name that's supposed to make his main roster debut, that's why they lost the North American Championship to Ethan Page, is Ricky Saints. Now, I've known Ricky for a really long time. He's from Austin. I'm from Dallas. We've ran in the same circles when we were both doing independent wrestling. I'm really happy to see him doing what he's doing. His dream has always been to be in the WWE, so it's really freaking cool to see him there. He's expected to make his main roster debut, and we know with main roster debuts, it's all about how you make it. The entrance, the aura, the booking, and the first feud that you get into is really, really important in terms of the trajectory and the future of your career and your main roster run. And so I really, really, really hope it goes out really well for Ricky, and like he is a bona fide charisma machine, and I think it's going to go really well for him. He just has that aura, that ooze, that it factor that makes people want to watch him, and if booked right, if done right, then he will be a superstar on the main roster. And I also think Ethan Page is a superstar, but he's been living in the NXT world for a while now. He's a champion again in NXT. I think he's a main roster call-up. I mean, he was one of the picks I had for Seth Rollins' group with Ethan Page or Carmelo Hayes or Austin Theory. I mean, Ricky Starks could even be a good addition to that. I think Jordynne Grace might be a good addition to that as a massive women powerhouse. She would join the powerhouses of Brunson Reed and Braun Breaker. So Jordynne Grace could be an addition there. You could see a Ricky Starks join that group, but I think it more fits like an Ethan Page, Austin Theory, Carmelo Hayes type character, or even if you want to go freaking nuts and make that group absolutely unstoppable, you put Drew McIntyre in that group. But those are some of the main roster moves and updates coming from the WWE world. We see Mariah May is in WWE, and we can expect Jordynne Grace and Ricky Saints to be on the main roster very, very soon. So let me know what you think in the comments down below, what you're expecting to see, some rumors, some predictions, Money in the Bank stuff, whatever you want, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.